Rise up, you and me are the solution to these challenges. Oh yeah, rise up, you and me are the solution to these challenges.
I am Steffi Maingi, an Ebafosa Innovative Volunteerism actor. And today I am here in Mwea, an area called Rodhiga, where we fabricated a solar dryer. And we are here today to do a training and a demonstration so that the farmers in this area can get to know how to use the solar dryer, the benefits of the solar dryer, and how them as this community are going to benefit from this solar dryer. Not only the solar dryer, but the added aspect, which is the chamber that uses clean energy briquettes, and also the benefits of the clean energy briquettes. It is a very, very synergistic way in how we do these things, because produce comes from the farm. From the farm, it goes direct into the solar dryer. From the solar dryer, it is either added value to. Then from value addition, it goes into the kitchen where it is cooked. And what do we use to cook this food? It is the clean energy briquettes. So it is directly from farm to table, whereby they know that they've dried their produce in a clean way. They have cut on post-harvest losses, and also they are cooking in clean ways. So that is what we're here to ensure today with this training and the demonstration. Stay tuned. Kwa hivyo nimefurahi sana mmekuja hapa leo, na ile kitu imenileta hapa leo ni kwa sababu ya ile solar dryer. Hi everyone, my name is Steffi Maingi, an Innovative Volunteerism actor, and today I am here to explain to you about the solar dryer, teach you how to make the solar dryer, also show you how to use the added benefit that is the chamber, and also the clean energy briquettes that are not only used to fire up the solar dryer, but also which are used at your homes. So I'm going to start us off with the solar dryer. And last week we were here and we fabricated this dryer, and many of you, some of you are here, and they helped us make the solar dryer, and despite the rain, so we are really grateful for that. And for those who have availed yourselves today, we are very grateful for taking your time to come here today to attend this training. So as innovative volunteers, what we do is to find solutions that we can create to benefit not only us but the community at large. And mostly we target climate action solutions. So we have so many farmers here in Kenya and in Africa, but we all cannot be farmers, right? Because whatever is already produced is a lot. But the downside is that most of it is lost as post-harvest losses. So as youth, because we can't all become farmers, we decided to devise a solution that is going to fill this gap, whereby we can save post-harvest losses. And that is how we came up with the solar dryer, which uses the sun so that food can dry effectively and within a very short time. So whatever time is taken to dry outside, the dryer is going to dry 3 times faster. And now with the addition of the chamber, which I'll come to explain more about later, it dries even more faster. And apart from that, it can dry at night and during cold season. So this is the solution that we came up with, so that we can help all of you farmers to dry your food. This dryer is not only tied to drying one value chain. It is a multi-purpose dryer whereby you can dry different value chains. Like here, the most abundant value chain is rice. So this dryer can dry rice, it can dry maize, it can dry greens, cassava, all types of tubers, cereals, and even to an extent of fish. So meaning that anything that you plant in your garden and in your farm, you can bring it to this solar drying center and dry your produce efficiently. I also brought with me a moisture meter, which is going to help you know that you have dried your food efficiently and to the required moisture percentage as stated by Kenya Bureau of Standards. And I'm also going to show you how to use this moisture meter to ensure that once you remove your produce from the dryer, you know that it has dried to the right moisture percentage. Like for example, rice is supposed to dry up to 13%. So instead of stepping on it like what has been happening, now you just need to use the moisture meter. Maize 12%, cassava 12%, and I'm also going to write down a list for you on the percentages so that it will be easier for all of you to know the right moisture to remove your produce from the dryer. So we are also going to put rice into the dryer so that we can test it, and you can also see how the moisture meter works and also how the dryer works, because we are, apart from training, we're also here to test the solar dryer so that all of you here can see how this solar dryer works. So how basically the structure of it, that paper lasts for 36 months. It has a guarantee of 36 months, so meaning that you can use that paper for 3 years. This paper is UV treated paper, so meaning that it will allow the heat from the sun to get directly into the dryer and hit the shelves. So when you close the doors of this dryer, that heat will be retained inside the dryer, and then we have a vent on that other side of the dryer whereby that hot air comes out from. We all know that hot air rises. That's why the vent is at the top corner, so that to ensure that there is no sweat inside the dryer, to ensure that once you put your produce, you know when you remove it, it won't be affected by any sort of sweat, any sort of moisture, but it's going to dry. Another thing, once you put your produce outside to dry, like what you have been doing, you know that there is very high risk of contamination, like birds, dirt, children playing, your chicken are outside there. So these are some of the variables that affect produce, and to some extent we've even seen somewhere where donkeys with cats would just pass on top of rice, meaning that there is a very high possibility actually your produce will be contaminated. So those are some of the things that we are also targeting with this solar dryer, because once you've washed your produce, or rather you've removed it from the farm and you've put it in the dryer, you know very well that there won't be any contamination, because no birds, no dirt, no wind can get into the dryer once you close your doors. So this is also ensuring that the produce you're going to eat, the product you're going to eat, is also going to be very hygienic. And to top on that, like now we have different variety of produce, like for example, when you prepare cassava that is going to remain on the shelves. Then someone else comes and brings rice. Rice has not yet been taken to the factory yet, so it has that dust, it has that dirt. Then you put it on top of that. Then again tomorrow someone else comes and probably they want to dry their tomatoes. If those shelves are not cleaned, it means that whatever came out from that cassava, whatever came out from that rice is going to contaminate these tomatoes or that cassava or those arrowroots. So it is very, very important that we clean the shelves of our dryer at all times. So if today you've dried your rice, make sure that you've left the dryer clean, so that the next person coming tomorrow is just going to place their produce. And when that person finishes, they also leave the dryer clean, making sure that each and every person is coming to a clean dryer. This is also going to help with the synergy, because when you come in the morning, you know you're coming to leave your produce, then you go on to your farm and continue with farming or other businesses that you're doing. But coming to the dryer, then starting to wash it, that is a very huge inconvenience. So it is the responsibility of each and every member here who is coming to bring their produce to the dryer to ensure that you leave the dryer clean, so that we avoid some of these diseases that are caused by contamination. Another benefit of the dryer is that yeast and mold is not going to grow, because your produce is drying more fast. So we are going to cuts down the growth of yeast and mold, thus aflatoxin, which causes cancer and other diseases. We have seen products being recalled from the market because of aflatoxin. And also here at home, because we don't get to dry our produce efficiently and we don't get to measure the moisture, it means that we are at high risk of such contamination, yeast and mold and aflatoxin. But this is going to help us cut down on that to ensure that whatever you're eating is healthy. Even when you go to hospital and you're given medicine, you're told to eat. But if you're still eating contaminated food to treat something, there's nothing you're doing. So it is very, very important that you dry your produce in a hygienic way and in the best way, and that is why the solar dryer is here. The solar drying charges are free, so everyone feel free to come and bring your produce here and dry. You have to you'll have to have a schedule so that Mama Shiro does not bring rice here and then Mama Njeri. It is very important that we have that schedule so that each and every member can equally benefit from the solar dryer. We don't want to have issues where some people are using the dryer more than others. So having you as a group, as Kiru Self-Help Group, sitting down together and planning a schedule is going to be very important. Mr. Michael, as the chairman, is going to organize that. So as a group, you're going to sit down and just ensure that each and every member is going to get the benefits of this solar dryer. And I mentioned that we added something else. You know, the beauty about the solar dryer and about innovations is that you keep on improving whatever you have created, the solution. And we started from wooden solar dryers. We moved to these metallic ones. We had something called a blower, and now we have moved on to a chamber. This chamber, let's all go and so that we can see the chamber. Yeah. So this chamber here uses clean energy briquettes. This is a jiko. We use a very normal jiko to in the chamber. So this jiko is lit by briquettes. You know, the biggest question that we get is, okay, this thing uses energy from the sun so that heat is generated. So what about when it's raining? What about at night or when we have cold weather? That is why we came up with this innovation that we added into this solar dryer. So you put briquettes, these clean energy briquettes, that this is another solution that we create, and I'm also going to explain further about these briquettes. You light them using a jiko. The jikos are placed inside the chamber, and then that heat from the jikos is going to get into the chamber through this very long metallic pipe to ensure that that heat is evenly distributed within the dryer. When we only cut it short to so we don't use firewood, we don't use maize corn, we don't use any other thing to light this chamber apart from briquettes, because these briquettes are smokeless. And you've seen here they have been lit and there is no smoke. This is to ensure that whatever is in the dryer is not going to have that smell of smoke or that effect of smoke. That is why we insist on only using briquettes, and that's why we have brought plenty briquettes here, so that we don't hear that there was a shortage, then we put firewood, and then that firewood, the smoke from the firewood has affected your produce. So that is why we have this chamber here. And some of the questions that I have been asked in regards to the chamber is, won't that heat burn this metal? No, it's not going to burn that metal, because we've left some height so that the flames are not going to reach up to that side. Another question that we have been asked is, won't the wind affect the burning of that briquette? No, that is why it is inside the chamber. We only have this one inlet for cold air, which is at the bottom, which allows cold air to come in. Then we have one other outlet, which is to allow the hot air to get out. And when it gets out, it goes directly into the chamber. We all know that hot air rises. So while when it burns and that air rises, it looks for somewhere to escape. And that is why we have created this other outlet, so that it can escape and get into the dryer. Then on the other side side of the dryer. That is why we have that aeration part there. So that hot air, once it does its work and circulates in the dryer, it's just going to get out through that vent. And that is how the chamber works. This will ensure that if you put your produce in the dryer during the day without lighting the chamber, and it didn't dry to that expected moisture, at night you can just put, or in the evening you just light the GCOS, put in the chambers, and the produce will still continue drying. And the beauty about these briquettes is that they light for long. So 3-4 hours, your briquette will still be on. So later on, you can add onto the briquette so that the heat can continue being generated. And now that I have mentioned about briquettes, I am going to proceed and give training and a background about briquettes so that we can have a better understanding of them. And all of you can become users and can also get used to using these briquettes. A briquette is a compressed block of coal dust or other combustible biomass material used for fuel and kindling to start a fire. That is a briquette. So a briquette works the same way as charcoal works. These briquettes do not produce any smoke. Another thing, they're very, very affordable compared to the cost of buying firewood, compared to the cost of buying charcoal. They're very affordable. They're half the cost of purchasing charcoal and firewood. Then apart from that, we see that women in their old age, they develop a few chest complications, and this is because of the smoke that they've been inhaling in their kitchen for many, many years. When someone is cooking in the kitchen, you'd know because of the coughing, and that is caused by the smoke, which has bad health attributions. So these briquettes help cut on such health complications because we have cut on the smoke. Yeah, and apart from that, we do not have to cut trees anymore to produce fuel because of these briquettes. And why? Because we use agricultural waste to produce these briquettes. So these briquettes, mostly we use cassava peels, and we also use cassava starch as our binder to make these briquettes. So basically it is just doing carbonization of the cassava peels, milling them to have fine dust. Then from milling them, we proceed to mixing them with a binder and a filler, which our binder is now the cassava starch. Then we pass them through a machine called an extruder. And then we have the briquette. Once that briquette is dry, it is taken to the solar dryer to dry. Meaning that this solar dryer is so versatile that it can not only dry food, but it can also dry briquettes. And you can see this briquette is thick, and it only takes 2 to 3 days maximum to dry. So if something thick like this can take such a short time, it means that your food will take even a shorter time to dry. So that shows the versatility of the solar dryers and how all these solutions are connected. Yeah. For the solar dryer to work efficiently when there is no sun, you need the briquettes, yeah? And for you to produce these briquettes, you also need the solar dryer to dry the briquettes. So these solutions complement each other in that way, yeah? So this is a very good solution which is going to help all those who cook at home. And it's not only used at home to cook, but even in restaurants, hotel, to do nyama choma, everything that can be cooked. And for those who have chicken, most people, because chicks need warmth, people also use this briquette so that they can ensure that their chicks are warm throughout the night, so that they can grow in a better environment and all that. Yeah. So these briquettes are very efficient in that way. And we've been getting feedback from most of our clients, and most of the time they come back. They always come back to buy more because they have seen the benefits of these briquettes. And as you've seen here, you can even come and touch just to feel. Yeah, let us get one volunteer to come and feel how the briquettes are burning, and they will tell us later on what they felt. So as you can see here, no smoke, and even that stick that he has put there has caught fire because they burn very well, they burn longer. So meaning you can cook a lot of things. They're economical in that way, in terms of money and in terms of longevity of burning. So I will urge everyone to switch and now start using briquettes. And what we are going to need from our end is just data from the members. When we get this feedback helps us as innovative volunteers to perfect these solutions, to continue innovating more solutions and to improve, because nothing was cast in stone that is perfect. So we need to keep on improving. And the feedback that we are going to get from all of you is what is going to help us to make these solutions more better, so that all of you can reap more benefits from these solutions.
My name is Michael Ajohi. I'm a farmer.
Michael Ajohi Munene, hapa kwenu ni nini unalimanga? Michael is saying that here he do farm maize, cassava and rice. Kulingana na ile unalima, ni kiasi gani ya mchere umekuwa ukipoteza juu ya kuanika nje? Wajohi is saying that this solar dryer is of importance to him because there before he used to spread his rice outside. The goats, chicken, dogs were passing through and so infecting that rice. But as for now, he is saying that this solar dryer will help them to save their rice from all that dirt. Unaweza niambia kama mchere ulikuwa unapoteza kiasi gani wakati ulikuwa unaweka nje na ni kiasi gani ulikuwa unavuna? Wajohi is saying that there before he was spreading his rice outside and he was losing almost 2 bags because he is farming half an acre of his land. But he is saying as from now, he won't be incurring any loss concerning the dirt or spoilage there outside, because now he will be drying his rice in the solar dryer. Also, brother Wajohi, leo tumewaletea makaa tunayoita briquettes. Umeona kama iko na manufaa kwako na community yenu? Wajohi is saying that he is so happy to see the briquettes and to know about the briquettes charcoal, because he has seen that there are charcoals which does not smell, which does not smoke, and so it will be of great help unto them and the community. And he is requesting us that we may bring the briquettes so that they may buy. Brother Wajohi, tumeshukuru kwa siku yako ya leo.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Kindly introduce yourself.
I'm Doris Wanjiru. Yeah.
Doris Wanjiru, what is it that you do here?
I do farming.
Yes.
Yes.
And what are these value chains that you farm?
I farm rice, veggies, and maize.
And maize.
Yeah.
What would you say is approximately how much do you harvest per season?
Per season rice, I do harvest 400 kgs.
400 kgs.
Yeah.
Okay, and how do you dry that 400 kgs?
I use sunlight.
You use direct sun drying.
Yeah.
All right. So when you use direct sun drying, how many kilograms do you lose using direct sun drying?
For those 400 kgs, I used to lose half of it.
You used to lose half of it.
Yeah.
Which is 200 kgs, and paddy you said is sold at 65 shillings.
Yeah.
So that means that you're losing like 13,000 per season.
Yeah.
All right. And now that we've brought this solar dryer, how do you see the solar dryer benefiting you as a farmer?
The solar dryer is an advantage to us because the chicks are not awakanyangi.
Yeah, they're not stepping on the rice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there is a lot of hygiene. Yeah.
All right. So hygiene is being maintained, and the rice will not be contaminated with birds, dust, and all that.
Yeah.
All right. And do you see the solar dryer saving your losses?
Yeah.
Okay. And apart from you as a farmer, I know that you also do farming as a group and as a community. How do you see this solar dryer helping that community?
It is helping our community because many of us are coming to dry their rice here, maize, and it is so advantage to us, all of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And apart from the solar dryer, you've learned also about the briquettes, clean energy briquettes, that are not only used in the solar dryer, but you can also use at home. What would you say are the advantages of these briquettes, and how are they going to help you and the community at large if you start using briquettes?
or the briquettes, they are advantage to us because they have the less costs. It is not advantage like the other charcoals which we are used. Then it is conserving an environment because we are not cutting our trees to burn the charcoals. Yeah.
All right. What would you say to the youth that have brought this solution, the solar dryer and the clean energy briquettes?
I will thank them and tell them they to come and beyond us menace because it is advantage to us. We are not going to dry our rice or maize through using a sun, so you are using this solar dryer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
My name is Henry Kariuki Kamunya. I'm a farmer.
We mwega?
I'm fine.
No twire ritwa rĩaku please. He is Henry Kariuki Kamunya. No twire indo iria ũrĩmaga gũkũ kwanyu. Henry is saying that he do farm cassava, rice, bananas and vegetables. Na rĩu Henry rĩ, kũringana na indo icio ũrĩmaga rĩ, nĩ thĩna ũrĩkũ ũkoretwo ũkĩgerera igũrũ rĩa mĩanĩkĩre indo icio? Henry is saying that he is experiencing a lot of challenges when it comes to drying of his products because he do spread them outside the sun and then the chicks passes through by, the burns they passes through by, and that is the greatest problem he has. Na rĩu Henry rĩ, kũringana na solar dryer no twamũrehere rĩ, nĩ ũrona ta ĩngĩkorwo arĩ ũteithio harĩ wewe. Henry is saying that the solar dryer will help him because when he put his products in the solar dryer, he will be going to do his normal works without coming back to see what is happening. And so it will be saving a lot of his time when he is working in other ways. Na rĩu Henry rĩ, no ũtwĩre nĩ kiasta kĩrigana atĩa ũrateaga mahinda marĩa ũranĩkaga nja? Henry is saying that when he was harvesting around 2,000 kgs of rice, he was losing around 300 kgs every time because he was spreading it outside. Na rĩu Henry rĩ, kũringana na gĩthomo kĩa mũthenya wa ũmũthĩ, nĩ twamũrehere makara maretwo briquettes. Na muona ta mangĩkorwo na ũteithio kũrĩ we na community. Henry says that briquette charcoal is good unto him according to how he has learned today because it doesn't smoke, it doesn't smell, then there is no cutting down of trees, and also it is helping their wives not to smoke that smoke from the other charcoals. And so he is saying that briquette charcoal will help them as a community because it doesn't have the hazards which the other charcoals has. Henry, nĩ twacokia ngatho nĩ tondũ wa mũthenya waku. Thank you and welcome. Ũhoro waku? He is fine. No ũtwĩre rĩtwa rĩaku please. He is Joseph Mugo Kagwema. Joseph Mugo Kagwema, ta twĩre atĩrĩrĩ, gũkũ rĩ nĩkĩ na kĩ ũrĩmaga? Mugo Kagwema is saying that he do farm maize, vegetables, but because he has seen the dryer, he is saying that he can add more products in his farm so that he may farm more. Na rĩu Mugo Kagwema rĩ, kũringana na rĩrĩa ũrarĩmaga rĩ, nĩ kiwango kana nĩ kiasi gani kĩa indo ciaku cigana atĩ iroraga tondũ ndũrĩ na kũndũ gwa kũiga? Mugo Kagwema is saying that there before he used to lose so much of his products, and because he do farm vegetables and cabbages, he is saying that he was harvesting around 70 kgs, then almost the half get spoiled. That is around 70 by 20, that is 1,400. Every week he used to lose because of the spoilage. And also for the cabbages, they used to get spoiled after they spend the night. Na rĩu Mugo Kagwema rĩ, tondũ nĩ twakũrehere dryer rĩ, ũrona ta gũkorwo na ũteithio thĩinĩ waku na community ĩno wĩikaranagia nayo? Mugo Kagwema is saying that this solar dryer will help the community because then before they used to lose so much of their products, but as for now, he is so happy because they won't be losing. Mugo Kagwema, also ũmũthĩ nĩ warutwo kĩndũ kĩngĩ gĩtagwo briquettes. Ii makaa ya briquettes. Na muona ta mangĩgũteithia atĩa together with your community. After the solar dryer was built, many of the people thought it's a chicken house. But then they have come to realize that it's something to dry their rice with, and they are so happy because they will be coming to dry there. Mugo, hena kĩũrio kĩmwe ndĩrenda gũkũria igũrũ rĩ makara maya monio ma briquettes. Na muona mangĩteithĩrĩria atĩa kana wega wa mona atĩa? Okay. Mogo Kagwema is saying that since he has seen the briquettes, he has found that the briquettes are taking longer before they are burnt out. And so because people here are very busy in the farms, they will be using these briquettes because they will be leaving their food in the house in the morning. Then at lunch time, they will be coming to eat the food. And he is saying that he will go telling people about the briquettes so that they may come and buy from Keriogi's house and then be using the briquettes. Thank you so much for coming to our interview today. And Mogo is saying that he would like us to bring the briquettes and to them so that they may call people and come and see the briquettes and buy. Thank you. Okay.
My name is Michael Kiriongi Wambogo, Chairman of Kero Self-Help Group. We do grow rice, maize, and the others like cassavas.
All right, Michael, you say that you're a farmer.
Yes.
What exactly do you farm?
I really depend on rice. Yes.
From this rice that you plant,
Yes.
what do you harvest in terms of kilos approximately?
At one season, I do harvest at almost 5,000 kilograms. Yes.
And this 5,000 kilograms, how do you dry it?
Yes, in this 5,000 kilograms, I do dry with the normal sun, but this time we have introduced these solar dryers. The losses we have been expecting from this normal sun, there are many disadvantages. One, we have to be there almost every minute, looking for chicks, trying to chase them away.
Yes.
And this that the weather, these winds blowing, give us almost a hard time.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And now with all that hard time from dirt, dust, and birds, what would you say are the kilos in losses? Like from that 5,000 that you are harvesting, what are the losses that you're experiencing?
In this drying, we had been losing almost a quarter of those.
Almost a quarter of that.
Yes.
And a quarter of that is equal to 1,250 kilograms
Yes.
that are lost from the 5,000.
Yeah.
How much do you sell that rice for?
By this time, it depends with the season and the weather and how the time you came to harvest those crops.
Yeah.
By this time, we are selling at 65 per kilo.
65 per kilo. So meaning that this harvest before the dryer you have lost, that is if you do 1,250 by 65, that means that you're losing 81,250 shillings per harvest.
Yes.
All right, which is such a huge loss. And now that the solar dryer has come here, how would you say that this dryer would help you as Michael, a rice farmer?
This solar dryer will help us a lot because this solar dryer, we really enjoy it because after you put your product here, we go for another job.
Yeah.
We don't chase these chicks. We have separated the crop will be ready and it will be green.
Yes.
And it will help us even in the depending with the weather.
Yeah.
Sometimes it will become very cold.
Yeah.
And the solar will be also working.
Yes.
With this Briquette.
Yes.
This drive will help this group a lot because most of the members, we are farmers.
Yes.
Yes. And we do grow a lot of crops,
Yeah.
cassava, one, rice, And the others, like in these green kienyenjes,
Yes.
yeah, it will help us a lot.
All right. And apart from the solar dryer, you've also been introduced to clean energy briquettes.
Yes.
How have you seen the briquettes, and how do you think the briquettes are going to help this community and the group?
The briquettes
Yes.
will help us a lot because this briquette has no smoke.
Yes.
Inachukua muda mrefu. It works a lot.
Yeah.
If you put once, we'll do many. Cook,
Yeah.
even twice of the rice.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So they take long before they finish.
Yeah.
So meaning you can really maximize on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Even the cost.
Even the cost is low.
Yeah.
So that is how you see this briquette and the solar dryer benefiting
The glue.
the group.
Yes.
What would you say to the youth that brought these solutions?
For the youth, this brought this project.
Yes.
They have think a lot
Yes.
for the members of the community.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you too.
It has been quite a successful and exciting day whereby we've held the solar dryer chamber and the clean energy briquettes training here in Ruthiga, and the farmers are very, very excited that we've brought these solutions to them. So it means that they have seen the benefits they've had, and they've also gotten to experience from the demonstration that we've had today about the benefits that they're going to reap from these solutions. And it is very exciting for us innovative volunteers to hear this and to see the impact that we are going to have from these solutions. So we are going to continue creating more solutions, getting feedback from them, improving on these solutions so that each and every person can benefit, so that we can ensure that post-harvest losses have been cut. We can ensure that we are no longer cutting trees to produce fuel, because we have an excellent alternative that we have created, and that each and every member of the community can comfortably come to the drying center to bring their produce, so that we can eat healthy food, we can cook in a clean way with these solutions that we have created. Innovative volunteerism.
Innovative volunteerism.
This is what innovative volunteerism stands for. This is impact. This is action. This is inspiration. This is what we must do, because every little action we undertake matters. Climate action is our own fierce urgency of now, and every action we take to help a mother put food on the table and more money in more pockets matters. That's what innovative volunteerism is all about. Ushering and inspiring young people to become solution providers, to turn climate change challenges into opportunities. That's what we are seeing, and that's impact. That's climate action. And we must all usher ourselves to turn challenges into opportunities. That's innovative volunteerism.
Yeah. Rise up, rise up. You and me are the solution to these challenges. Oh yeah.